Once again, it is the season of making and baking and cookies all by the fireside, or something like that. Either way, is it too late to make ghost cookies? Because I don't really think so. Sugar cookies, do they really matter what shape they're in this time of year? I mean, you can still have ghosts at Thanksgiving, I guess. But either way, after watching a lot of different egg cracking videos on social media, Violet wanted to try cracking eggs of her own, so we bought a dozen and now we're on a baking spree. So I let her crack this, and mixing up the sugar cookie dough, well, because you need to have the butter at room temperature, I forgot how difficult it really can be. But lucky for her, she likes getting down and dirty and using her hands, so just treat it like it's Play-Doh and squish it around, and eventually we'll be able to roll it and shape it into ghosts and bake it before we decorate it to the high heavens with googly eyeballs and sugar crystals and frosting. She really was determined to make mixing it with a spoon a thing, but the butter is difficult and she just wasn't having the best of time chopping it up and blending it. I really just feel like sugar cookies are one of those things that you either have to make it in a stand mixer, where it does all the work for you, or you have to use your hands. It's really not one of those doughs that is spoon mixable, if you know what I'm saying. I'm really glad that we found these little kits that have everything you need to make these items inside of it. From the cookie cutter to the little tiny portions of decorative eyeballs and sugar and frosting, there is nothing missing in this box. And you know, when you think about things like that, not only does it make the activity even more fun to have everything all put together right when you're ready to use it, but it's so much more cost effective to buy these little kits. Because how much space in your kitchen do you really need to have for all these extra pieces and bottles and things and stuff that you only needed for one specific recipe that one time? And as for me, I know that sugar cookies are like a really big holiday staple for a lot of people, but I have never been a big fan of them. The only thing that I really like about sugar cookies, if we're being honest, is the smell of them baking in the oven. Once they're out and cooled and sitting around, I'm not interested. But fortunately, Violet and I are different in that way, and she does enjoy sugar cookies. At first, I don't think that she wanted to believe me that you have to just put the dough on the counter with a little bit of flour to make it work, so I let her try the silicone mat, but it didn't take her long to figure out how sticky the cookie dough gets. Once she rolled it out onto the countertop, it started to make more sense and we were able to flatten it out and create some fun ghost shapes. The box says that it makes about 8 cookies, which we found to be quite accurate, and I was honestly surprised. I kind of sort of didn't think we were going to get more than about 5 or 6 out of this, but we managed to make 8 cookies, and then Violet used some of the leftover dough to make little accessories for them of bats and hearts and other little things that they can hold in their ghosty hands. She was definitely pretty mystified by the trick that I showed her of scooping up the cookie dough with a spatula to put it on top of the cookie sheet to bake. I don't think she thought they were going to transfer that well once she realized how sticky the dough was. But as you know, with flour, it helps with the stickiness. She was ever so determined to do the whole thing by herself, but eventually decided to let me have a turn as well, with flattening dough and making my own little ghost shapes. I can't wait for her to decorate these when they're out of the oven at this point, but they look so adorable getting ready to go in. So while I enjoyed my most favorite part, and only favorite part of sugar cookies, which is the smell of them baking in the oven, I did some quick cleanup around the kitchen while Violet went back to playing with her Paw Patrol toys for a little bit. And then voila! All ready to be decorated. We let them cool for a little bit to make sure the icing didn't completely melt, but at the same time, I did want some of it to, of course, melt and flow together to cover the ghosts better. Violet really wanted to do 100% of the decorating herself, and I really tried to let that happen, but at the end of the day, the frosting packet was just really hard to do. So I put on the frosting for her and then let her decorate them any other way she chose. Now, I bet at this point you're just about as ready as I am to see how these little ghosty ghosts came out. Okay, so this is pretty much the first one and how they started looking out. But only a few of them ended up with 2 eyes because I guess our packet had an eyeball shortage, or perhaps one got eaten somewhere when I wasn't quite looking. But we do have a couple winky face ghosts and a few ghosts that are holding some extra really cute surprises. But we really had such a good laid-back baking day making these. And you know what? I guess it's not too late for ghosts. And it's not too early for sugar cookies. And everything turned out just right. We hope that we've inspired you a little bit to go out and bake something of your own. Thanks for watching.